Hello, welcome to the Glass Classroom. My name is Kathy and I'm here today to show you how to do a repair. I am going to be showing you how to take out a piece of glass out of a window, and here it is. Can you see this break right here where my finger is? I don't know if you can see that break, but that is a broken piece of glass. And if you see this window, it's a very beautiful window by one of my students. And we're gonna have to take this piece out and then replace it with some blue glass, which is right there. So first of all, I'm going to put you up here and show you that what I have for tools are a pair of these wonderful surgical tweezers. I have a Fletcher cutter, which has this wonderful part on the end to help me break out the glass. I have a flux brush and flux, and I use this flux. I have a glass cutter, which is a Toyo glass cutter. This is a straight handle glass cutter. I will have a pistol grip later on to show you how to do glass cutting with a pistol grip, but for today, what we're going to be doing is working with a straight handled cutter. And I have a Weller 100. I have solder. This is 50/50. I have a sponge. I have 2 pairs of breaking pliers. And I have pattern paper and a pen. It's very important to have a pen. My pattern paper has a sticky back, so I can remove it and cut a new piece of glass. Okay, so first off, what I'm going to do is to take my cutter, which is sitting in oil, and I am going to make sure I have the correct piece to break out, which is this piece right here. And I am going to score that piece across. I'm going to score it again and again and again and again. I try not to cross over my score lines. It doesn't help your cutter very much. So at this point, what I'm going to do is to lift this window up, and I'm going to come from underneath, and I'm going to tap all of the cuts until they break. And I don't know if you can see them, but you can see the shine that comes from all the breaks. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to score across. Now that they're broken, I'm going to score across again and again and again. And I'm going to continue to score across to break up all the pieces in this piece that I want to break out. This is a copper foiled window, and that's what we're going to be fixing today, is a copper foiled repair. Lead is completely different. So what I'm going to do is to break this out. It's very, very important that you wear glasses during this. So I have my glasses on, because glass chips can fly off of this window quite quickly, and that would be a really bad thing. Safety glasses are a little bit better. you can see that it's started to break out. This is what I want. I want it to, I want to break that out. And then I'm going to put my cutter back into the oil. I'll set that off to the side. What I want to do at this point is I need to heat up some of I'm going to put flux all along the line of the solder. And what you want to do is you want to lift this window up. You want to get it off the table, because if you can get it off the table, what will happen is that you can let the solder fall. So I'm going to put it on top of this. I'm going to set it so that it won't be underneath the solder. And I'm going to heat this, I'm going to heat up the solder. I'm going to, it's got flux on it. Don't breathe. If you can, blow out. It's at an angle, so it's making the solder fall, which is really a good thing. So if you didn't see that, there's some of this solder is falling down onto the paper below, which is what we need to have happen. I'm going to quit solder. I'm going to quit heating that area over there because it's very, very hot. I don't want to break the next piece. I don't want to break any of the surrounding pieces. So it's very, very important as to what you do. So I'm going to heat over here. If you heat too much is why this broke. It had a heat crack in it. My student spent a little bit too much time and did not let the glass cool down, and the glass broke. So I'm going to continue to heat. Don't breathe the flux. The flux fumes are not really good for you. You can stay out of them. It's a good thing. Okay, there's another piece over here. We're going to try to get some of the solder to fall through. What I'm going to do at this point, because it stopped really moving, is I'm going to go underneath at the exact point where the solder also needs to, we're going to look at this window and see what it's done. You can see that some of the solder has fallen. I'm going to put flux on the bottom side of this, and then I'm going to flip it back over. By having the flux, it helps the solder to move. And oh, there goes my mascot. That's Miss Maddie. She's my puppy dog. I think I'll have you meet her later on. She's moved out of my way, which was kind of nice. So I'm going to be heating this up, and I'm going to show you a trick. A lot of people can't do it because they don't leave enough room, but if you have a piece of paper and you heat up an area what you can do is you can poke that piece of paper through and it will separate the two pieces of, will separate the two pieces that are foiled together. What is very important in making this window, once it gets a solder area on it, you want to flip it over to the other side so that it's a nice clean edge. Or take a pair of scissors and cut that off. Okay, I'm going to continue to use this. You have to get it really hot for this to work, but it is really makes it easy to take out the glass. Now, I'm going to take this tool and I'm going to remove the glass. Now, with all the score lines that I have put into this, it's making it very easy to take this glass out. You want to be very careful that you aren't ripping the foil from the outer pieces around this one piece. What we're trying to do is remove the interior piece and leave the exterior pieces. So be very, very careful. What we've done is to have this copper foil, and I'm going to show you a close-up, have this copper foil, and what I'm going to do is try to take off all the solder that is on this window. It has to be hot, so be sure to make, see how the solder is flowing and it's coming off? It follows heat, so if I push it, it will fall down onto the table. So I want to get this piece, see if I can do this while you can watch. I'm going to heat up this area right here, and gently I'll grab onto this piece of foil and I will be heating up this area. Oh, it broke, but that's okay. All of those things happen. I have an 800-degree iron tip on my Weller 100 iron, and the reason I have an 800-degree tip is so that it will heat up quicker. Hope you can still see this. I'm trying to, oh, here it comes. So it's loosened up so I can pull that out. Now what I need to do is very carefully I think what I'm going to do is to put a little bit more flux on this, because when you're working with a piece, what happens is the flux dissipates. It's kind of goes away, so you need to add more. And you don't want to try to do this with your hands. Oh, great, that piece of copper just fell right out. That's wonderful. Okay, so now I'm going to let that cool off, and I'm going to go over to this other side again. I'm going to try to take out another piece of glass. I don't know. Oh, there it goes. Perfect. If you can work your way by removing the glass as you go. Do you notice I stuck the iron on the glass to create a heat crack to break the glass that I was trying to remove? So you have to have patience when you're doing this. Please have patience. You cannot hurry what we're doing. The glass needs to be hot. It needs to be taken apart slowly. And we do have a problem because we're right up against a border piece, so I don't know what we're going to do, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. If you heat it up, the glass will come out easier, and that's because it's loosening up the glue. I don't think I'm going to try to get that one yet. Okay, now I'm going to come back over here, trying to remove some more pieces. Oh, look at that. Just slides out. I like it. Okay. Now I need to come underneath the piece that is still in the window, and I need to remove all of the solder because you want to start with a very clean area to put in the new piece. And you have to make sure you don't break the other pieces, so don't. See all those chips flying? You really need safety glasses. Please wear safety glasses. And blow on those solder fumes. So here we go. We're gonna get a little bit more there. Now if I can, I'm gonna start pulling this out. Okay, if I put the iron straight down, it makes the solder drop. That's so nice to see. So continue to take this slowly. Heat. I'm not pulling, I'm just lifting just a little bit to allow this to come off. But now I have to go back and take away all that solder. Okay, so we're getting closer. Patience, grasshopper, patience. It's very, very important to go slowly. I want to make sure that you get to see this. This is a hard piece to get out. Oh, there it goes. Ah, the last piece, the last piece. Yay, the last piece. Okay, so we did not need the Fletcher. Normally I would use these little tines here and I would grab the piece of glass with the tines and pull. That's what the Fletcher is really good for. And this ball is really good. As for cutting, they have a steel wheel and they don't last very long, so I don't use them. I use the carbide wheel Toyos exclusively in my work. Okay, we're gonna pull off this last couple pieces of foil and then we're gonna get on to making a pattern. And I'm going to you have to turn it over to see that you've gotten all of the solder off. So we will do that next. Oh, it's perfect. The foil was underneath the zinc and I don't want to have to take this border off. I will if I very much have to, but I don't want to. So I'm going to try to heat this area, and I broke that. That's not good. That was because I got too impatient. Get behind it. This is a small soldering iron tip, so I should be able to. Okay, there we go. Ta-da! It's done. Well, this part's done. What you need is glass cleaner. I use Sprayway. It has no ammonia, cleans very well. Get the flux off. It's no fun to have flux on your window. Be very careful at this point. You don't want to put any pressure. I'm going to hold on to the window and let it just barely sit and barely push. So what you want to do is to get all those chips off, make it look nice and clean, and we have removed the piece. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is remove this. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to move the paper that is on here so that I have a fresh sheet. And then I'm going to turn over the window to see if it's pretty good. And the foil is still on the other pieces around it. So if you see that, now we have an empty hole. This is perfect. Now you really need to remember what side of the window is up and what side is down. So I'm going to take and put the shiny side of the window up because the shiny side of the glass is what we're going to be cutting. So I'm going to flip this up. This is the top side of the window. I have a piece of glass and it has been marked with arrows as to which way the grain goes, because all of the grain in this glass goes one way. It's really beautiful water glass. It's made by Spectrum. Spectrum is now called Oceanside. It is made, it's a company in California, and the glass is made in Tijuana. If you have any desire to know more about glass, let me know and I will show you. I don't like to use a lot of pattern paper, so I'm going to tip it sideways to draw this piece. I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to come straight down . going to put an arrow here because there has to be a little bit of glass that goes into this, to this edge. So I'm going to put a line across here to show where the line is, but I need to add glass to that space. Now you're going to take scissors, just regular scissors,